Well, I guess I'm plagued. I come across too vague. I'm not seen.
I was invited to go to a festival outside of London with my friends. As I was walking to the train station, I was worried I would forget things or miss my train. I was there plenty of time. At the big train station, waiting for my overground train, I saw there were lots of women I liked, but didn't really know how to approach. Story of my life. I was tempted to have a beer at a nearby pub or this hotel bar that was near, as I had time. But in the end, I ended up not having time, and I was glad because I often feel tempted to have a drink when I can, and even though having a beer sounded like an exciting thing to do, I was glad I didn't in the end. I sometimes rely on alcohol too much, so I was glad to not do so then. I was glad for the situation to get better rather than worse. Staying with my friends who live in the area the festival is in was really helpful. It helps me to overcome some of my OCD issues with hygiene. I hoped to continue being less OCD about hygiene when I got home after the festival. I got more confident just doing things. I was told, help yourself to food, drink, etc. Though I've always had loads of anxiety about most social things. But I was glad that I gradually got more confident. I noticed I checked my phone less. It reminded me how much happier I am the less I use my phone. Arriving at the festival, it reminded me of some local music festivals that I performed at. Although, taking a closer look, I could see that it seemed to be a much higher level, much higher standard with how good the stages looked and what a high standard the bands performing and the solo artists performing were. Sometimes at the music festival, I was glad at times when I didn't drink. I didn't rely on drinking early, and it was good to just hang out with my friends. Even sometimes when I was alone by myself, I wasn't tempted to drink all the time. And it was the first time in a long time I enjoyed being somewhere by myself. Even though I mostly enjoyed the festival, I did feel sad when I saw there were lots of women that I found attractive but knew no way of starting any conversation or interaction with them. At the bar, an attractive woman served me. I didn't know how to keep the conversation going afterwards. I also wasn't sure if continuing to talk to her after she'd served me would be inappropriate. I noticed my friend who lives in the area has loads of friends there, even though he hasn't really lived there that long. I wondered if this was partly due to how confident he is with asking for things, for help. He didn't hesitate at all if he asked me for help with anything. My friends I was staying with go to bed earlier than I do, and I wondered how I would deal with trying to get tireder. I usually have to stay up pretty late because of my insomnia, watching TV, but it was good to actually explore doing something like reading a book to try and get tired again, which I hadn't done in a long time.